Hey Taurus, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading, general reading of course. I am available for personal readings if you want to book that, but this is a general reading. If I don't catch a wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements. Ooh, we have something we didn't really want to talk about here. All right, anything else? We're looking at the Oracle of Mystical Moments deck for intuitive vibe, and then we'll move on to the Muse Tarot for a more traditional tarot spread. Oh, okay. We have 44 stranded here. This is, you got yourself involved in something. And then we have treasured memories. So we'll be talking about both of those. Stranded is about a child, someone without expertise, someone without skills, was a little ambitious, very ambitious, could not wait to get started, did not take the class, did not seek out the mentor, did not read the book, just went sailing. And this is how this is coming to me as a story, okay? So just went sailing. There was like a flood. There was something out of this person's control, this young, inexperienced person's control. Something happened outside of their control. It changed the dynamic. It changed the situation. Maybe they would have been fine. They may have thought, you know, my dad was a sailor. I grew up on how hard can it be? My uncle's an idiot and he's a sailor. How hard can this be, right? This can't be that difficult. Plenty of idiots do it. So I'm going to do some sailing. And if the day had been sunny, if the breeze had been constant and exactly the direction he wanted to go, that's fine. I mean, but this ship is actually pretty complicated. It requires not just sailing knowledge, but leadership skills. But something happened in the weather. The weather happened. Something outside of this little sailor's control happened. And he did the best he could. Did the best he could with the skills that he had, which weren't much. He lacked experience, he lacked leadership, he lacked what he needed in order to be able to deal with the twists and turns. Now, it's entirely possible that a more experienced sailor could have gotten into this situation as well. And that it wasn't necessarily this person's inexperience, your inexperience, that got you into the situation. It could have been anybody. Maybe anybody could have ended up here. But some experience and some would have really helped. Now you're in a situation and you don't know how to get out of it. No idea how to get out of this situation. You feel stuck. You feel stranded. Maybe you feel a little ghosted, that maybe, where's your crew? Where's all these people that were going to help you? They're gone. They're not here. You're feeling stranded, abandoned, stuck in this situation. You might have to cut your losses. You might have to, you know, I want to say not cut off your nose to spite your face. You might want to have to amputate this boat or this project and let it free so that you can be free, right? So when we cut the cord between you and this project, you and this situation, when we cut that cord, okay, we're abandoning ship here. We are abandoning ship. Looks like everybody else abandoned ship a long time ago anyway. So we're abandoning ship, and you cut this cord, you're free to go. There's nothing that says there's not like a bouncy castle or anything down here to catch you, right? You're in a way anchored to this project that's definitely not going anywhere. Has the wind, the weather, something, a tornado, a flood stranded you up here. Something outside of your control may have stranded you up here, and here you are trying to get out of it. You may have to cut your losses here and move on. That frees you too. That's not just you letting go of this boat. That frees you. I mean, there are lessons here. We see a rainbow. This isn't going to happen again. This was a unique situation. You didn't have the skills to navigate it. Who knows if anybody would have. But there was definitely a sense of inexperience and a sense of being weighed down by this, in place, stuck here. So you may have to let this ship go. What it does is it lets you go too, right? So next time, you may never want to go sailing again. That's entirely valid. But if you do go sailing again, you will definitely pay attention to the driver's test. You will definitely pay attention to a mentor. You will definitely be paying closer attention to any kind of guidance. And you may even spend the rest of your life wondering what you should have done here, how this could have gone differently. And that will be an area of great growth for you, because you never want to end up here again. So figuring it out, figuring out what could I have done differently? How could I have learned? You know, they say that if you take a test without studying for it, then the next time, then it informs you of what you're going to need to know. And people tend to study way better, way more cleverly, way better for the next test, right? Because now they know what they don't know, and they understand the questions, and they understand the issues that they're going to be required to know. So when we fuck up, we sometimes have this, it's a learning experience, and then we learn better for next time. We now pay attention to the book. We pay attention to the mentor. We pay attention because we don't want to get there again. So that's a little story, not quite a little story, but that's our little story about this little card and this little guy up in this little tree here getting stuck. And then we have treasured memories. I like how we have a cord in both of these. This is something you're clinging to, and maybe it's this memory of what happened back here. You're clinging to it. There is a sense, though, with this one, I see a lot more positivity than clinging to this. This is like, it's my albatross, and I'm never going to let you cut it from my neck. Kind of thing. Clinging to this better memory is about looking to the future, but looking to carry something lighter, something better with you, something healthier. It's a treasured memory. It's not just any old memory. It's a treasured memory, a memory of being a little more brave, maybe part of this is treasured. Maybe you do remember part of this as being like, remember when I had that level of courage? Remember when I had that level of bravery and bravado that I just did this thing? That could be a very pleasant memory to have. So you're remembering something, and the thing about these memories is they can happen again, right? Especially our pleasant, treasured memories. They're there to remind us that we can go back to better places. We can go back to good things. So we might be feeling, I can read this a couple ways, these two cards together, we might be feeling trapped and stranded here, stuck, and remembering better times, remembering, better places, and wanting to recreate that even while we're trapped here. Or we could be remembering, the good parts about this crappy situation that we were in, and remembering, how good it felt. And we can go there again because it happened once before. It can happen again. But there is a sense of, you're holding on to a treasured memory. And because it comes with this stranded, for some of you, it could be a memory that needs to be let go of. It will free you. It will feel like a loss, but it will also free you. Well, we can't really forget our memories. But, look, if reframing something in a way that frees you, it might feel like a bit of a loss, but it'll give you some freedom. You can remember the good parts without being tied down to the bad parts. Taurus, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Okay, in your recent past, you have 4 of materials. I like this with these other 2 cards. This has a strong clinging vibe, a mild obsession, maybe even a honeymoon period, where maybe there was a smooth sailing. Maybe the memory is of when this was smooth sailing, when this was wonderful. That would have been a honeymoon period where you were just obsessed with sailing, obsessed with doing this, obsessed with this big giant project that was slightly outside of your comfort zone and your ability. But you were really interested in it and really obsessed with it. So the 4 materials talks about, and it's also a honeymoon period, and also like a time when you were, oh no, my heater can be very loud. A time when you were sort of outside, it's a honeymoon period, right? So it's like a time when outside of time, a break from the norm, really being absorbed by something and taking time to be absorbed by that thing. It can have like good and both healthy and unhealthy connotations, right? It can be a little bit obsessive, a little bit clingy, but it can also be an appropriate time, a special, unique time where we're just getting to know something, we're starting to understand something, and we're really absorbed in it. And sometimes, projects need that kind of kickstart where we, take 4 weeks or take some time to take breaks from other things so that we can really focus on something, really become absorbed by something, really let something carry us away for a while. And this is what I see here. But there's also a clinging vibe here. So this could be you, again, clinging to something that's already happened. This ship has sailed and it didn't do well, and you might still be clinging to a ship that's sailed here. Or this could also be referring to you know, the time period when everything was smooth sailing before all the events, and this, you were obsessed with it. But there's a clinging vibe to both of this, clinging to this treasured memory, which is not a bad thing if it makes you feel good. Keep remembering it. Those times will come again, somehow, not the same way, but somehow. And if it doesn't make you feel good, let go of it. Or try to. Try your best. And then we have Muse of Materials. This is King of Pentacles. And your current situation, you definitely, whatever you got absorbed in this part of the reading, we have had massive success. Whatever. So this could be something totally different than these other cards. You were absorbed by something, and this is success. This is things coming true. You've invested time, money, attention, attention to detail to something, and it's really coming along well, and it's doing really well, which I find really, there's some interesting tension between this card having come up of something you really were really invested and enthusiastic about not going well, but there might be something else that you were really enthusiastic and invested in that is going well, and you are seeing the results of that, and you are starting to see the success of that and the positive results of that. What you're hoping for is the Star card. This could be really looking for a moment in life that's like, yes, you're exactly where you need to be. You may be feeling a little bit here, so definitely you'd be craving this, like, this is okay, this is where you're meant to be, don't worry about it, help is on its way. There is a lot in this card that is, to me, help is on its way. You're not going to be stranded here forever. There's this rainbow sort of eye of God watching you. And this may refer to something in the past too. And not being stranded here forever, right? The help is on its way. So this could be what you're hoping for. Help is on its way. Or you're just hoping for some confirmation that you're on the right track, or hoping for the limelight to hit you, hoping for that, you know, that spotlight to shine on you. There's a sense of destiny with this card. So your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, what you're thinking about is, do I have a date with destiny? When does that come? When does the spotlight shine on me? When do I receive my confirmation from the universe? It could just be little winks from the universe about, like, you know, synchronicities and whatever that you could be craving, letting you know, like, okay, yeah, you're on the right path. Or it could be something else more larger, being recognized for this success. And, you know, you may know that you have succeeded on something. You may have said no to a lot of things, isolated yourself, not gone out with friends, not done some of the funner things in life while you focused on work, and you may be hoping for some sort of recognition, hoping for some sort of affirmation from the universe that you're right where you need to be, that these decisions, these things you gave up to get where you are right now, that those were not in vain, that those were useful and purposeful, and you are on the right path and you are on the right track. So craving of this card could show, I wouldn't say a disastrous insecurity, but just it could be a normal, or it could be disastrous, right? These readings are on a scale of 1 to 10. Some of you may experience this stuff really big, writ large over your life in memorable experiences that you will never forget. Or some of you may be having it on a smaller scale. But this craving for some sort of recognition or some sort of vision, I mean, it's a very normal human thing. It would be weird if we were social creatures like we were, and we did not need social interaction, and we did not need recognition for our contributions, and we did not need that. That would be a little bit strange to be the creatures that we are, with the survival being key to our connection to each other, being key to our survival. And if we didn't ever want that, you know, being creatures of community, herd creatures, and if we didn't ever want that recognition from the herd, that we're doing okay, that would be weird. So there is a sense of craving that recognition, which is a very normal craving. And then we have, what's the issue here is the High Priestess in reverse. So something's being withheld from you, information is being withheld from you. It may not be for your better benefit. In the upright, I would say this is the tarot. This is the tarot deck. We're talking about things that you can see, things that you can't see. We're talking about sort of the high priestess being able to go back and pull out information for you while also keeping what's hidden. It may be overwhelming if you knew it all at once, but this is like something is being kept hidden. This can also be a teacher vibe, like not teaching. So in the upright, it would be teaching. It would be someone who's going from a large fund of information here and is giving you what they know that you're ready for right now. But there's just a withholding of a lot of information. But because we're getting this in the reverse, it's very interesting because you may not be either teaching or receiving the teaching and instruction that you feel that you need. Which would be you're still sort of somewhat here. You either didn't listen to the teaching and instruction that was being provided for you. You may not be willing to, you may not have at some point really paid much attention to the lessons that were trying to be shared with you and the things that were trying to be shown to you. There's something here in the reverse priestess about information that you need and want not being shared, either because the teacher has not arrived or because you weren't ready for it. Those can be the same thing, actually. You know, when you were ready, the teacher arrives, right? But you may not have been ready for that teaching, and now you may be a little ready for it. You may be at a point where you're like, okay, I am going to need to know. Now I know what I don't know. And so now where is the teacher? This could be similar to the star shining on you, having some sort of light shine directly onto your situation, and confirmation. That confirmation may not be coming with this reverse priestess. You don't feel like you're getting what you need here. You don't feel like you're getting the guidance or mentorship that you need. You may have rejected it at some point, and now you may be, just with this stranded card, it's possible that you may be rejected it at the teaching and the instruction that you needed at some point, and now are craving it and looking for it, and it's not showing up in the way that you need. In your current situation and your external situation, you have Knight of Emotions. This is emotional communication, emotional growth, emotional movement forward. Someone here is growing. This could be an actual person since it is a court card. Someone here is growing, is moving along. Someone maybe wanting to share something with you, emotional. This could be from this past. This could be one of these treasured memories. Maybe during this time out stage that you took, this honeymoon stage, someone that was maybe affected by that may want to come back and communicate with you. There is sort of a return to a prior place, having grown, having learned a lot, having done some self-evaluation here. So this isn't you, this is going to be somebody else, having learned and grown and done some sort of self-evaluation and is ready to communicate that where they're at now and what they understand now of their feelings and how they feel now. So if someone ghosted you and left you stranded and abandoned, they may be coming back around to talk from a place of better maturity, of just having known something. They may be wanting to communicate now. Someone here wants to communicate with you, and I feel like they've grown and they understand their own feelings and emotions a lot better now than they did the last time you connected with them. In your to-do list, the energy you are being called to interact with here is the Death card. A major transformation. Of course, again, it is a scale of 1 to 10, but the Death does hint at something over a 5. This is ending something, and maybe there is some kind of, this would be cutting a cord like this, right? Ending something to free yourself for the next growth, for the next level of growth. Cutting yourself free from something that's held you back. Maybe you really want it. Maybe it's really expensive. Maybe it was very valuable to you. Maybe you had good times so long as you were sailing. There were a lot of good times, but there is a sense here of the Death card of creating your cocoon here and crawling into it for the purpose of reemerging as a butterfly. you know, the cocoon is the caterpillar's coffin and the butterfly's womb. So the death card talks about both of those, the coffin and the womb sensation, that position of stasis where change happens somewhat mysteriously. So there is some sort of something is ending so that something new can begin, and part of that cycle. So it is this cocoon situation. So if you need to cocoon, find some isolation. If you need to take action to end something, if you need to cut, you know, we talk about cutting spiritual cords. Sometimes I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm sure that I know a lot of people that do more in-depth discussions on those cutting of those cords. So there is a sense of this, in a way, like being released of some sort of mortal coil here, some sort of bond, right? The mortal coil would be our body, and our spirit being released from that body in death. So we're not talking about an actual literal death, and you're not, you know, we're not talking about like creating your own death here, but we are talking about a spiritual, in a sense, cutting some sort of cutting yourself free from something, maybe even very physical, that has held you in bondage, maybe some sort of project, some sort of dream, some sort of vision that has held you in bondage, and freeing yourself from that situation. And being able to fly free from it. That's again exactly what I'm seeing with stranded. Is I just see all these. There's a lot of cobwebs here, and I see the clearing of these cobwebs, the end of something, the end of this web, the end of this situation that's bound you. And where you're going here is the Moon card. Some things will be revealed. Some things cannot be revealed. This is also dealing with your subconscious issues. You may have to deal with some of these treasured memories, with whatever kept you here for longer than was useful, whatever made you go out on that sailing trip that you were not ill prepared for, and whatever caused you to make some of these actions. It's time to look at that. You're coming to a time where maybe in this cocoon, or in this stasis, or in between, in this doorway between death and life, between an old life and a new life, an old way of doing things and a new way of doing things, in between that, taking some time to look at, you know, your intuition. What did you listen to it? Did you not listen to it? You know, what can you see? What can you not see? What parts of yourself can you understand, and seeking to understand those parts of yourself. Also, this could be talking about revealing things, especially with this Knight of Emotions, talking about feelings, things that would need to be revealed and things that don't need to be revealed, things that need to come into the light and things that don't need to go to the light. I'm thinking about this moth and this death card, and how moths use the moon to navigate. It's like this intuition. There's something about leaving this cocoon to talk about leaving this cocoon and being drawn forward with a revelation, with something being revealed, with revealing something about yourself, or someone else revealing something about them, and moving forward with that. But the Moon card is typically just talking about subconscious issues, trying to reveal those things that are often hidden, often in the shadows. I mean, we have the Priestess here talking about what can be known and what cannot be known. Someone has suppressed revealing something, or even dealing with some sort of spiritual health issue. And then this Moon card has us looking it full in the face, and revealing what can be revealed. I mean, this is a full moon. This is as much of the moon as we can see. And there are things that we can see, things that we cannot see, things that we're ready to see, things that we're not ready to see, and just dealing with some of those subconscious issues, and revealing what can be revealed, what we're prepared to reveal, and what other people might be prepared to reveal. So your to-do list, this death card, ending something so that you can create a new beginning, freeing yourself from something, either spiritually or, you know, having that conversation with somebody. Yeah, so some interesting energies going on with these, with the Aries and Taurus readings this week. So anyway, I hope that that's helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments, and I hope you have a great little fortnight here.